Hey guys, what's up? Johnny here. And well, yeah, different location than normal. I'm in my mom's kitchen. You're actually gonna be with me while I do this mental health update, and I'm actually making lunch. So yeah, we're gonna talk while I wrong burner. While I make lunch. So, as you saw from the thumbnail, well, first and foremost, I guess I'll show you what I'm making for lunch. Making some of my favorite ramen, Shin Ramen. No, I'm not sponsored. But, this is some of my absolute favorite ramen. I love the spice. But yeah, so as you can see from the thumbnail and the title, this is ultimately a mental health update. First one of the year. And, yeah, you guys might be sitting there wondering, Johnny, we're only, 7 days into the year and you're giving a mental health update? What the hell could be wrong? Well, there's really nothing much wrong, per se. Just a lot of different stuff going on. So, I do have a lot of nerves right now. I have my hearing for my SSI, SSD on January 20th, so coming up. And, just a little nervous. This is my second, well, technically third hearing. The first one really did not go that well. The judge threw out everything my psychiatrist said, mainly because of the fact my psychiatrist was female at the time. But then also because of the fact he doesn't believe in partial care programs, which, I was in a partial care program at the time, because he personally doesn't believe in them. He honestly doesn't think they do anything. He threw all that out. Like, even the guy whose job it was to sit there and figure out, like, what I could do with all the restrictions and everything for my mental health. He even came out to the judge and said, there's really nothing he can do with all the restrictions that he has. There's nothing we can see him doing. And, the judge pretty much threw all that out. And, my lawyer at the time, I'm still with the same law firm, just a different lawyer, because my original lawyer had to go out for medical leave. But, they still all believe, ooh, I need a fork, be right back. Yeah, I know, sacrilege. Ramen, and I'm using a fork. I know, but unfortunately we don't have any chopsticks here. We used to keep plenty of chopsticks, but now my mom just gets rid of them. But anyway, so we took this to a federal judge, and the federal judge pretty much agreed that the original judge was being very biased. So, the federal judge, I don't know if it was a male or a woman, I was never told, decided to send it back, and we're now getting a different judge and a brand new hearing on the 20th. So, my nerves are just very high because, I've been trying to get SSI, SSD since 2019. And, it's been failure after failure after failure. Um, One of my friends kind of put it this way, 2026 is going to be the year of Johnny. I paraphrase it and I go, I'm basically going to make 2026 my bitch, which is what I'm trying to do. And, hopefully this is where it's going to start, with the judge approving my SSI, SSD. I was already told that I'm being grandfathered in with the rule. So instead of just going back 2 years for my back pay, it's going to go back to 2019 when I originally applied. So, I'm definitely going to be getting a good chunk of money in back pay. Unfortunately, social services is going to be taking a chunk of that, but I'm still going to be left with enough to be able to do some of the main stuff I want to. Get my apartment, move out of the shelter that I'm in. I want to try to go and get my license. I used to have my permit, for a while, but I lost it in my cousin Wayne's rental car when he came up from Virginia. Didn't realize it, and by the time I realized that, he was already back in Virginia, so didn't really work out. But I want to get my license. I want to get my permit. I want to get my license. I want to get my pickup truck. I've always wanted a pickup truck. Eventually, I'd like to maybe get my motorcycle license and get my trike. Only because, little known fact about me, for those of you who don't know, I cannot ride a bike, like a regular bike. So I would have to ultimately get a trike. And I'm not talking about a T-Rex where it's the 2 wheels in the front, 1 wheel in the back. I'm talking about like an actual trike. 1 wheel in the front, 2 wheels in the back. I personally don't like the T-Rexes. I think they look stupid. I'd rather just have a regular trike than a T-Rex. Also, it just gives more room in the back, so this way I can maybe have somebody sit in the back and ride with me. But then too, like I was saying in my 2026 video, I want to try and travel this year with some of that money. I want to go out to Nevada. I want to go see my cousin Chrissy, my cousin Bobby, his girlfriend Carly, their new daughter. I want to spend a week there. I want to spend a week in Vegas with my Aunt Kathy, my Uncle Eric, my cousin Sean. While I'm out there in Nevada, I want to go film some ball games for my Baseball Lover channel. Go see the Reno Aces when I go see Bobby and all them, and where they live in Hawthorne. Go out to Reno, and go out to Reno, go see the games. Same thing in Vegas when I'm with my Aunt Kathy and my Uncle Eric. I want to head out to the ballpark in Vegas to go see the Aviators for 2 games. Also, while I'm in Nevada, I want to try to do some eating challenges. I found a couple in Vegas that I want to try. I'm going to look up Reno, see if Reno has any. Those will really make my vlogs for while I'm in Nevada something. The eating challenges really show how much of a glutton I can be. And then, Queen Bee from Hell of a Boss, the Queen of Gluttony, will be very happy about me. Maybe I'll earn a seat, and maybe I'll be invited to one of her Hellhound parties. But anyway. So my hearing is definitely something that's got me a little on edge. So another thing, a very good friend of mine, by the name of John, as well, funny enough, we're in group therapy together, And, he's got a lot on his plate. And he decided to check himself into a mental hospital. At the time of recording this, I actually did talk to him last night, so I know he got in. But he's trying to change because he doesn't really like the hospital that he got put into. There's one specific one that he wants to go to because he does have more freedom. The hospital that he got put in, they have like a uniform that they have to wear and everything like that. They don't really let him go out to smoke much, and while he is a smoker, as much as I keep trying to get him to stop, he is a smoker. So, that's kind of got me down a little bit. Another big thing, kind of following that is, I'm just lonely. I'm very, very lonely. Like, yes, I talk to my friends. Like, I talked to my friend Annie on Facebook Messenger. I'm constantly on the phone with my friend Paige. That's definitely great. They keep me company. They keep me sane. But, like I keep saying, I want that forever person. To where, especially once I can get my apartment and everything, I can have her come over and spend the day with me, spend time with me. We can, I can have her come spend weekends if she's off work. Maybe I can go to her house and spend weekends. There is a young lady who I'm talking to, but it is a little complicated at the moment. So for those of you who know, you know. For those of you who don't, well, I'm not going to talk about it right now. It's still something that's got to wait and see. But, everything's not bad. So a couple of good things I can say. A tribute video that I put for a fellow YouTuber, Adam the Woo, reached 50 views, which, is always a milestone for me. Anytime I get over X amount of views, I'm ecstatic. Because I always wonder who actually is watching my videos. So, Christmas happened. And, I didn't get to celebrate Christmas with my family because my brother had to work. My mom had to work the night before, Christmas Eve, so we really didn't get to do much. But we celebrated it later. And, of course, yes, I did get presents. I got a new pair of headphones, which God knows I needed. They work great, which I love. My friends like, because now they can actually hear me when I talk on the phone with them, where I couldn't before. I also got a new jacket, which, again, is something I absolutely needed. I really needed a new jacket. Because actually the shelter that I live in, somebody stole my leather jacket that I had. And then I got some new sweatpants, which is something that I needed. I always need clothes. So, there's all that. Crap. So, now, I did do this in my 2026 video, but, what I'm really looking forward to is hopefully being able to travel in 2026. Like I said, Hawthorne/Reno, Nevada, Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm hopefully going to get down to Woodstock, Virginia, to go see my cousin Wayne, my cousin Calvin, and his family. Who, the only times I get to see them is when they come up here to Jersey. I want to try to get to a couple different places for ball games. Even though it's still New York, I've been to New York countless times. I want to get to Yankee Stadium this season. I want to get to Philly, and I've been to Philly before for a game. But, I want to try to get there this season for a couple of Phillies games, plus maybe the All-Star game. Even here in Jersey, a couple of places I want to get to. I want to try to get down to Lakewood, go see the Blue Claws play. Trenton, go see the Thunder. I do also want to try and hit up some wrestling shows this year, be it WWE, AEW, Independence. I want to go and have some fun like I used to. I also want to get to upstate New York to go finally meet my friend Paige, because we've never met. And if she wants to, I'll have her on this channel with me. I'll introduce you guys to her. She's a really cool girl. But yeah. So, I guess that's this mental health update. I guess if I had to put a mood to everything, I'm doing good, but it's hard. But that's life. What am I going to say? That's life. But until next time, everybody, peace out. I'll catch you later.